Hello Aquarius, and welcome to your January 2019 mid-month love reading. I'm Jade with yesYesYES, and thank you so much for visiting my channel. I do want to take a moment and give a shout out for all of the likes and the shares and the subscribes. I really appreciate hearing back from you, getting all the feedback. I know some of this is resonating, and it doesn't resonate for everyone, but I really appreciate all who do share. And if you have any questions about any of the decks, they're all listed below. And as well as if you're interested in having a private reading, all of that information and the link to my website is in the box below. So let's get started. The first thing is I'm going to start with this, this oracle. And I've started with this particular things are about to get really juicy. And the reason why is that, one, I love this card, but I'm pulling it and using it for all of the signs, but I specifically want to do one for you, Aquarius, for January 2019. Okay, we'll start here. Oh, this is fun. Pucker up, Buttercup. Do we have a new love? Do we have somebody we want to go smooching on? This is sweet. Pucker up. I like it. So if there's nobody in your life, get ready for it, because there's going to be the opportunity to do some smooching. And that's really the sweetest thing about love, is the very beginning parts. I love that, the sweet falling in love. So this deck is the notes on the universe on love and connection. So if you're interested in that, that information is below. I want to do a bit of a Lenormand spread. I'm looking for the significator cards, the masculine and the feminine, and I want to see how their paths lay out. So for Aquarius 2019, let's see where this all begins. The journey between the masculine and the feminine, and how they will find each other for this month. There we go. That's the beginning. All right, so I'm just going to lay this out, and I'm waiting to see either the masculine, there he is, and we'll see where the feminine lays out. So we have the masculine and the anchor. Let me show you. I hope we get no glare. We have the whip, the ring. We like to see that. The mountain. Oh boy, get to that. The house. The birds. I might start laying them on top. Sometimes these can get really long. The tower. The moon, the fish, the rider, the stork, the mice, the book, the paths, the bouquet, the coffin, and the ship. Are we just going to pull out all the cards here, Aquarius? The lilies, the stars, the fox, the dog. We might be pulling all the cards. The cross, the key. This is a full-on story. The child, and there is the feminine. Okay, so here we go. The masculine for this month is moving towards the feminine. So if you are a masculine Aquarius, that means that your energies are put out there to look for your feminine. Now, if you are the feminine Aquarius, you need to remain open and receive your masculine. But we're going to talk about this path in between, and there are quite a bit of cards. So what I will say is that there's quite a journey that is happening between you two to reach each other this month. So if we are going to pucker up, it's going to be a very long smooch when you finally get there. Okay, so let's see. What we're talking about here is a stable man. So, so the masculine is very stable. He might have an issue with commitment. Okay, and the reason why I say that is the whip is kind of like a card of it's not only self-doubt, but it's kind of beating oneself up. So even it might have been a past issue where he could not commit. And the reason why I'm saying that the commitment is because of the ring. That's really what commitment, really what the ring is about commitment or a contract. And it could be that it's very slow or it's a challenging situation for him. So masculine Aquarius, you might have this issue with being stable and committed in the past if you want it to be, but this is part of your energy. Feminine Aquarians, this is the man that is coming into you or coming toward you. So there's an issue with stability and an issue with commitment, and it could be something that's changing. We'll keep going, okay? Now, there is a challenge with this stability with the home, and people know it, people talk about it, and maybe it's even something that this masculine talks about, and it's talked about either at work or at school, in a larger situation, a larger organization, okay? So it's very well known that this is a man who has had some issues with commitment, or doesn't quite feel that he can give himself fully, because maybe there's trust issues, okay? So masculine, just know, we're talking about this. If this isn't resonating, then it's not for you. But what I will say is that that's what's reading out right now, is that there's an issue with the masculine being able to commit, but everyone kind of knows about it or has talked about it. Now, let's shift it, because now we have an emotional abundance here, okay? So we want to talk about this emotional abundance that's coming through. So what it looks to me as, and it is a new beginning, it looks to me that there is a change that's wanting to be made, and it could be this masculine energy. You might have not been able to commit in the past, but that you're wanting to commit. You want to show your emotions. You want to be forthright about them in the future, okay? There's a new beginning about that. Now, and we're kind of at the halfway point, there's some anxiety here, okay? So what I'm feeling is that the feminine is sensing this anxiety. So if this is a partnership that's already current, there's some anxiety because this is the masculine's past, that he hasn't been able to commit, that his friends know it, his coworkers might know it, whatever. And again, if you are the masculine, we all go through situations where we can't commit, right? There's some times where we just don't feel like we can say yes to a thing because of something going on in our lives. So don't, feel like you have to get down on yourself because of that, okay? It's just something that's coming up in the cards. Now, the anxiety is perhaps because the masculine wants to make a change, and he wants to make an emotional new beginning, okay? He wants to start over and not be this person who can't commit, if it is a player or whatever. And the feminine has some anxiety because perhaps she's unable to trust that he's wanting to change, or that this new person might have this past, and that this might be a pattern that she senses, okay? So please keep in mind, if you're in current relationship, try to work it out if this resonates. And if you're not in a current relationship and you're drawing someone in, keep in mind that this could be a past situation that's working itself out currently, okay? So this anxiety, sure, that's natural. Now, there is going to be a choice that's going to need to be made, and this is more on the feminine side, so she might need to make the choice to say yes to this masculine. But I will say that there is something that is supported in that making that choice, okay? Now, in making this choice to go towards your masculine feminines, there is going to be an ending, okay? And the ending is going to be, maybe you're choosing to take a new move, like you're moving somewhere, or you're planning a trip somewhere. And again, Lenormand can read something that's really very specific and very quick. So if there's an ending to a work trip or a personal trip that you were planning on taking, you're going to have to make that choice with this masculine. And the reason being is that there's some sensual connection, and it's kind of like it's a little tricky, it could be like a new playful connection, okay? So you're making the choice to leave something behind that could be a move, could be, just a vacation, choosing some adventure that you're saying no to go in a sensual adventure. How about that? So it's either a physical adventure where you're moving yourself, going somewhere, or it's a sensual adventure with this new person. If this is for a couple, just know that perhaps you were making a choice to move, not to move in together even, but to take a trip together, and maybe you had to choose, no, I don't want to take that trip because instead we need to focus on our inner relations together, maybe in the bedroom, maybe not, but there's something focusing on the relationship versus doing things, okay? Now, there is a burden for the female, and it could be that the friends, even though there was some support up here, there could be a friendship that's kind of burdening the female. And maybe this friend is just saying, hey, watch your back, make sure that you don't, I don't want you to get hurt. So just be aware that there's a friend who's putting a little bit of pressure on you. And I think it's, again, just kind of making sure that you are taking care of you, okay? But ultimately what we're looking at for the female is that the ultimate answer, the secret to this is taking it in looking at it in a new way. Also, if you're looking at it, if you have children, looking at it in that family kind of way. So saying yes to this new way of the masculine's being, okay? That is quite a journey. So the masculine has some work that he's going through. The feminine, you have a choice to make. And, and ultimately this choice is up to you if it's a physical choice or if it's a interrelated emotional choice. That's what you're making. And there is a friend who's, I will say, trying to help, and sometimes that help can make it a little bit more difficult. Okay, so that's the beginning of the story. Ooh, Aquarius, what is going on? So again, if this is calling to you, please comment. I'd love to hear more about it. I'm going to do a few more things. I want to hear specifically from the masculine first. I want to hear where the masculine is at. So we'll go from that. So if you are the masculine, this is where you are, what you're feeling currently. Okay, masculine's ready. And then if you are the feminine, this is what you're going to be feeling currently. All right, so masculine is feeling the Ace of Pentacles. It did come out in reverse. So the Ace of Pentacles for the masculine is a solid, stable beginning. However, with it being in reverse, we're talking about it again. The card itself, that energy is on the table. There is the potential for it being a new relationship that is stable and connected. It has to do with money, but it also has to do with the feeling of emotional security, of spiritual security, of financial security, all the things. So right now the masculine is perhaps in your head. Perhaps there is something that he's working on. If you're trying to work through something in order to get to this new beginning. So it's just a little stagnated right now. We're not quite ready to move forward. We'll pull a few more cards to see what else is going on, but just know that there's a new beginning that is stable, that is coming, and it could be slow. So we could just be slowly working towards it. But just know that that is definitely a potential for the masculine. For the feminine, we have the Temperance, and the Temperance card, try to get it without the glare. The Temperance card also came up in reverse. So the Temperance is about patience, it's about balance, and it's about allowing, okay, surrendering to the process. This is in reverse, which means that there might be a little bit more effort on the feminine's part, because she's maybe out of her feminine allowing, right? What we want to do is get to the place where, again, the Temperance is upright, where there's a balance between the masculine and feminine within ourselves as well as in our relationships, and that we also are feeling that we don't have to push, we don't have to rush, everything is unfolding perfectly. So we're hoping for that, we're wanting that to happen, that energy is possible, but right now it's just that we are either doubting it or we're not moving within that energy currently. Now we'll pull some more cards here for the masculine. We have the Queen of Wands, we have the Knight of Chalices or Water in reverse, and we also have the High Priestess in reverse. Okay, so let's talk about it. The Queen of Wands, this is the Klimt Tarot, I forgot to mention that. So the Queen of Wands, we're talking about a fiery energy, but it's also compassionate because all the queens have nurturing and compassion with them. So the Queen is, she is knowing all of the possibility that she can create. She is a creator because that's, you know, our fire suit. So she is perfectly capable of creating, of doing things on her own, but she is receptive to help. Okay, so masculines, I like this energy because it is promoting a balance. It's saying that you are in a place of work, you are in a place of creation and of action. Okay, you are upright. So what you are probably doing is healing yourself because, you know, it's a queen. So you're working on healing whatever it was in the past that got you, you know, to a place where you just didn't feel like you could commit or couldn't trust. And if this is your masculine, he's working towards this. He's working with himself right now, which is beautiful. Now we have the Knight of Chalices, and this came out in reverse. So the Knight of Water. So we know this already. The emotions are a little upturned. Any kind of emotional offer that the masculine can give right now, it's possible, but it's not quite being, it's not in its potential state. Okay, he's still working, and if you're the masculine, you're still working on giving yourself all of the credit for doing all of the hard work of releasing this past. You're going to want to, and you do want to, offer a stable, communicative, and emotionally balanced relationship. You want to give that to someone, but right now you're just not able to. Perhaps the energy isn't there. Maybe you're tired and you just need to keep working on yourself just a little bit longer. Ultimately, we have the High Priestess, and this again is beautiful energy for you masculines. So it came out in reverse. We have this energy of the High Priestess. This is Taurus energy. This is the ultimate nurturing. So you want this. You want a very stable connection with someone. You want the commonalities of work and play and you know, again, spiritual, emotional, physical, you know, everything to work together so that it's just a perfect union. And it could be potentially with a Taurus, but what I'll say is that it's again in reverse. So once we work out, and this is the advice here, once we work out whatever the issues are where you actually have to act upon something to create and allow for the changes to occur in the future here, you have to change the way in which you feel and did something in the past. You have to do it all over again in the now, make it a new way, okay? So if that's just forgiving yourself, if that is forgiving someone else, but there's an action that needs to be taken because we're talking about wands here. And we want to get to these emotionally balanced places that you can offer it to another. So these are beautiful cards, and just the, you know, the masculine Aquarius is working it. You are working it, and you are doing it, and we see that. And I think that there is some beauty offered to you here, especially in this month. So if we can get through all this, then you can pucker up, my friend. All right, let's go to the feminine. 5 of Cups, 9 of Pentacles, and the 10 of Swords, all in the upright. All right. So I was enjoying this, and then we have the 10 of Swords. Okay. So the 5 of Cups, here we are. All right. So the 5 of Cups, there's a longing, a something, you know, it doesn't, something hasn't sat right for you feminines in the past. I would say this is an energy that is, again, that you're working within. So there's some emotional issues that we're working through that that weren't necessarily satisfying in the past, and obviously, or we would still be them. You know, we would be in the present with them. But this emotional dissatisfaction, you have sown some seeds in the past, and it didn't quite reap the way in which you had wanted. You know, this is an owl that has laid some eggs, and some of the eggs have hatched, and not all of them have. So you have tried many times, and you have this energy with you where You know, you've tried many times, and some have been failures. However, I will say that with the Nine of Pentacles, you're here saying, look, I have tried, I failed, it's okay, because I have proved to myself that I have mastered, and I am enjoying the place in which I am, despite having some failures in the past. And these are emotional failures, even though the Pentacles is talking about, you know, perhaps finances, and what you have manifested. Emotional failures in the past, but you're feeling good about where you are and what you have created. Now, ultimately, we have the Ten of Swords. Now, I don't know why this energy is coming up for you, especially if you're feeling the Nine of Pentacles, you're feeling it upright. And actually, the upright could also mean that you're enjoying your time alone. So if you are, maybe this is that choice that we were talking about earlier. So you're enjoying your time alone and you're not sure if you want to make the choice to move towards the masculine or to do your own thing. This Ten of Swords could just be pretending that you are going to be in this struggle of making this choice. That's the only thing that I'm seeing in the cards that would create this kind of end bit where, you know, that's what the Ten of Swords is. It's just being slayed. Like, I've been over and over this, and now I'm just slayed and done with it. So this could be ultimately that decision that you have to make where you're moving towards the masculine and you're taking a risk. It is a risk because the masculine might have a history that may feel like it's hard to trust, but in the past you've had some issues, and that would make sure, you know, that would make sense that you would not want to trust in the future as well. So this is a tough decision for you, Aquarius. I want this to all be puckery. I want this big old kiss to happen. But there is a long line between the masculine and feminine in order to make this pucker up happen. So what I'm hoping for you in this month is that the masculine really works through whatever these issues are that he needs to shed, and that the feminine feels more confident in stepping forward and knows that you can trust the process and know that no matter what failures you've had emotionally in the past, it doesn't have to be that in the future, and that whatever this decision is, it's going to all work out, okay? So you can choose to do your own thing, to, you know, go and enjoy life without the masculine for now. That's totally fine. Give him some time to work himself out. Or you can choose to move forward with him and pucker up. So there you go, Aquarius. I hope this resonates. I really want this to move through, so please let me know how it works out for you this month. And the next reading, this will be good through February, mid-February. So we'll do this, and then we'll have the Valentine's reading. So I'm hoping that all of this energy will kind of work itself out, and then we'll move forward. Thank you so much for coming, Aquarius. And for now, I'm going to give you all of my love.